Hello everyone and welcome to Pro Bowl West in Fort Wayne, Indiana for the Indiana High School Bowling State Championships. I'm Scott Gilmore. Joining me once again, PBA Hall of Famer Mike Albee. And we're down now to the team portion of the event, Baker format. Mike, this should be exciting.
It's the most exciting format there is in the industry. So what will happen today is you have 5 bowlers. The bowler bowls first, will bowl the first frame and the 6th frame. The second bowler bowls the 2nd frame and the 7th frame. Then 3rd frame, 8th frame, 4th frame, 9th frame, and then 5th and a 10th frame. So it's an exciting format.
And in this format, one bowler can't carry the load.
No, it's very important for that leadoff bowler to go out there and not necessarily strike, but start out with a good shot, because that person's setting the tone and is also helping the bowlers line up. So it's very important for that first frame. But the person that bowls the 5th and the 10th, he's your star or she's your star, because they're the one that has to finish the game off strong. And it's a great, exciting format.
And only 2 shots a game in a sense, so it's important to make good shots when you are up on the approach. We're going to have the top girls and the top boys teams participate for a chance to win a state title right here in Pro Bowl West. We hope you enjoy the broadcast, and we'll be back with our teams and the first matches right after this. Hello everyone and welcome back to Pro Bowl West here inside Fort Wayne, Indiana for the Indiana High School Bowling State Championships team event here, Mike, and we're about to see who's participating in this year's event.
It'll be exciting. Baker format, nothing but strikes and spares, and a lot of excitement, and a state champion to be crowned.
All right, let's send it laneside for our PA announcer, Zach Carey. Zach, take it away.
All right, let's go ahead and get this started. For the girls, the 3 seed, Greenfield Central Cougars. And the 2 seed, Franklin Township Flashes. And your number 1 seed from Highland, the Trojans. All right, and for the boys, the 4 seed, Hobart High School. And the 3 seed, Connorsville Spartans. And the 2 seed, Eastside Blazers. And the number 1 seed for the boys, Noblesville Millers.
All right, there's your team participating in this year's Indiana High School Bowling State Championships. And Mike, if you don't know what you're in for as a fan, you're going to be pretty amazed at what's going to happen here.
Yeah, you know, the format, Baker format, if you're the first bowler, you bowl the first frame and the 6th frame. Second bowler bowls 2nd frame and the 7th frame. Third bowler, 3rd frame and 8th frame. Fourth bowler is the 4th frame and the 9th frame. And, of course, your strong anchor is going to bowl your 5th frame and, of course, your 10th frame. So, but your leadoff is in a very important position, because that's the person that's going to set the pace for you, going to know the lane conditions as they change. But they're going to be the leader in getting the momentum going. But your anchor is going to be the person that's going to bowl under the pressure and have the opportunity to win a game.
Well, as you know, the importance of being at the top of the ladder, per se. So obviously when you look at the boys' side, Noblesville coming back. They were down. They were in 5th place after 9 games, 60 pins out of first, and they find themselves in the number 1 slot beating Eastside by just 5 pins. You got to think, how much does that weigh into being at the advantage of having just to bowl 2 Baker games in order to win this championship?
It's huge. Being a leader, you don't have to worry about the opportunity of not getting to the title match by a bad break or something to that effect. You automatically have a shot at the title no matter what happens. They're going to, and like you said, they made it by 5, or they led it by 5 pins over Eastside, and Eastside was right in front of us here, and their anchor bowler left a solid 10 first ball in a 10th that cost them the lead. But Noblesville, the last 3 games were 259, 215, 210, and those are strong scores in a Baker game. But, boy, what a powerhouse and a defending champion.
And a name that isn't quite familiar yet, has a familiar family name, but you will get to know a lot more later on here, and that's Mr. Caden Russell, Ronnie Russell's son, who the coaching staff for Noblesville put him in the anchor position, and he didn't let him down.
I know at one point, I think after 9 or 10 games, he had only not struck twice at the opportunities when he got the opportunity to bowl, which was between the 4th and the anchor spot all the way through. And on Facebook, I've seen of some of his scores lately, and Caden has been setting them on fire no matter where he's been bowling. So they probably have the strongest anchor man, in the state right now, which is a good position to be in. But they've also got a bowler who finished 4th this morning in the singles, bowling 4th. So strong team. It's going to be tough for any one of these teams to knock them off for sure.
Yeah, and you're referring to Nathan Smith, who ran up into Ryan Spear in the singles portion, and Nathan himself bowled really well. It's going to be very interesting on how this all works out. The players right now are in practice. We're going to take a quick timeout, and when we come back, we'll have the team Baker-style format underway here, and we're going to find out who's going to win the 2021 Indiana State Team Championships right here from Pro Bowl West. We'll be back right after this. All right, welcome back here to Savage Bowling TV's presentation of the 2021 Indiana High School Bowling State Finals, and we're in the team portion of our event this weekend, and wow, we got 4 teams ready to go, Mike, and we're going to do the best we can, right? As this is going to be fast-paced and furious, and we hope to do it justice because it is going to be exciting, and there's a lot of players, a lot of action, and we're going to do the best we can, right?
Oh, we are, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And just a little bit of background, I mean, these teams that are bowling now, they bowled for 3 hours, 12 Baker games just to get here, which is, I mean, at my age it would be very grueling, but obviously they can get through it all right. But it's just, I mean, it's tough, and I don't think they ever sat down.
Well, and you think about it here, Homestead just misses the show by 12 pins, and then also Terre Haute North misses it by 5. So think about that, 12 games, how many shots, and they just come up short. It's
almost every frame you can find that 5 pins or 12 pins. I mean, it's, I'm sure they're very disappointed, but still a great showing in the state.
Well, we got Franklin Township and Greenfield Central in match number 1 for the girls. Some players of note here. And you know a little bit about Franklin Township, don't you?
Franklin Central High School, yeah. That's where I went.
Yeah, absolutely.
I graduated just the other year, 1978.
Ooh, just that. Are you on the Wall of Fame over there?
Yeah, I don't know about that. But,
but anyway, some notable names, and this is just from, we're talking about dads,
yes.
But Lori Bowerly here, John, her dad's
Bowerly.
a talented player here in the city that you know quite well.
Former touring professional, won titles, and just a great player, great guy, great family.
And Corinne Walker, Brian Walker's daughter. Brian, a really talented player here in the city of, or the state of Indiana, bowling in Indianapolis. And so those are players to know. Also, on Greenfield Central is Tandis O'Neill. Don't know if you know, but her brother just happens to be Zach Weidman.
Wow.
So just to kind of give you a little bit of his, some knowledge there, I'm going to drop some stuff on you there, Mike.
That's exciting. No, that's awesome news.
But we're going to try to talk about the players as much as we can. We, get this information basically minutes before the show takes place, so it's quite interesting. But we go to the boys' side in this first match, and we also have the Connorsville Spartans, and a familiar name just from this morning, Wesley Boyd happens to bowl for Connersville. Their team makes it. He's going to be their anchor player, and we know what he did this morning. He won the singles championship.
Yeah, that's quite the day for Wesley Boyd, and I'm sure he'd like to turn this one to another state championship. But yeah, winning the singles title is phenomenal. Great, he did a great job this morning. But you know what's exciting and what a lot of people don't understand, to be able to reload again after you win a state title in singles, and then you've got basically a short break, and you're back in the fire, and here you are again. So you talk about a long day, and I don't care how old or young you are, it's taxing.
Absolutely.
Exciting, but taxing.
Well, and the other thing, too, is there's so much downtime in a Baker game. You're only bowling 2 shots in a 10-game or 12-frame game, and so there's a lot of downtime for each player. The thought of your hand can shrink and swell, whatever that may be, it is a harder format for a player to succeed. And plus, like we talked about earlier in our kickoff, is one player can't carry the team, right?
No, they can. And, you talk about a lot of team sports and how there's team camaraderie, and watch team bowling. You want to talk about people, teams that live for each other's shots. Wow, and it's just phenomenal to watch team bowling.
Where players are down to about 2 minutes of practice, we'll take another chance here to take a quick timeout. We'll be back here with match number 1 of the boys and girls Indiana High School Bowling Team State Championships right after this. All right, Scott Gilmore, Mike Albee here in the broadcast booth once again for the Indiana High School Bowling State Championships. You're watching all of the action here live on Savage Bowling TV. Want to thank everyone for taking time out here on their Saturday. Great crowd here. And we're all doing the best we can for social distancing, and we're masking up, so we're doing everything right here in Pro Bowl West. And it should be an exciting broadcast. We're going to do the best we can on giving you who's bowling, what frame, and some background information on the players. And, Mike, are you ready?
I have to be, but I am ready. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm waiting for the smiles and the excitement and the titles.
Well, we're really excited, too. Joining us in our broadcast will be our Laneside reporter, Zach Carey. And we thank Zach for taking his time to spend the afternoon here with us on our broadcast. And, once again, Chad Lester, our producer-director here for the broadcast. And girls are on lanes 45 and 46. Boys are on 49 and 50. And we're underway. The nice thing, too, is some of these teams, especially like Hobart here, Mike, for you, they got their names on the back. That'll help you keep things straight.
That does help.
Tyler Rashaw leading off there for the boys here for Hobart.
Great start by Connersville there. Great start.
And that should be Peyton
Rowland.
Yeah.
Rowland, yes. Great start. Just what you want your leadoff person to do. Start with a strike and get that momentum going.
We're going to kind of help you out, too, as much as we can. The numbers on their back on the players are the frames they are bowling the first 5 frames. So player 1 will bowl the first and the 6th frame, player 2 the 7th, and so on. And then they'll repeat that as they go through 6 through 10. So the person with number 5 on their back, they'll bowl the 10th frame.
And Hobart, coming out a little bit quick, little excited, and kind of missing the head pin the first 2 times. But you want to get some spares and get the momentum back and not give your opponent any extra help. But there's a start by Connersville with a double right out of the get-go.
Yeah, and Hobart here now looking at a really tough 6-count spare in the 2nd frame. And again, we're going to let the action speak for itself. We're just going to chime in whenever we can, and especially when we get down to crunch time here in each game. Well, the girls start off both their frames right now for Franklin Central. They're clean, and that is Corinne Walker, the number 2 bowler for Franklin Central. And now this is Hunter Sullivan for Franklin Central here, working on a spare.
Great shot. Yeah, what a great shot.
And this is Kayla Blazik-Trice. Little backup ball.
Good try at that, though. That's right where you want to kind of put it. Both boys' teams leaving some difficult spares.
How important, too, Mike, is the order or the lineup that the coaches turn in? How important is that in the grand scheme of a Baker game?
It's extremely important, as it is how talented your players are. Obviously, we talked about your leadoff person needs to set the tone, get the momentum going, help to decide if the lanes are changing as well. Second and third keeps it going. Fourth sets up your number 5 anchor bowler who has to handle all the pressure with the bowl the 10th frame. But it also sets up your leadoff guy coming back around the corner. So, we had talked earlier today, and the 1, 4, and 5 spots are crucial to a successful Baker game.
Let's help out the viewers here that might not know the players. We're going to go through the rosters and the order that they're bowling for each respective team. For Franklin Central, your leadoff bowler is Alyssa Perry. Bowling second is Corinne Walker. Bowling third is Hunter Sullivan. Bowling fourth is Lori Bowerly. And bowling fifth is Macy Hadley. For Greenfield Central, your leadoff bowler is Lauren Sherman. Bowling second is Kayla Blazik-Trice. Bowling third is Alyssa Caldwell. Bowling fourth is Macy Huber, and bowling fifth is Tandis O'Neill. Mike, you want to go through the guys?
Yeah, for Connorsville, we've got leadoff is Peyton Rowland. Number 2 spot is Dakota Littleton. Number 3 is Jamison Dykes. Number 4 bowler, the setup bowler, is Garrett Davidson, and your anchor is the 2021 Indiana State singles champion, Wesley Boyd.
All right, for the Hobart boys, your leadoff bowler is Tyler Rashaw. Bowling second is Dominique Locke. Bowling third is Andrew Clemens. Bowling fourth is Alex Griggs. And bowling fifth is Caleb Carey. So that's your bowling order for Hobart. And again, your leadoff bowler is bowling the 6th frame. So they'll just repeat that same order. And that way you get an idea of who's bowling in each particular frame. That way, if we miss anything, you know what's going on, right?
Yeah, it's a good idea to do that. They all deserve their name and lights today because they performed well to get this far. But it's a battle out there. One thing you want to do is keep the momentum going, and by doing that is filling frames with marks. Opens or killers in Baker.
All right, players are now in about the 5th, 6th frame on each side, and we're going to talk a little bit about a couple of the players that we highlighted over here for Franklin Central. We talk about Lori Bowerly, her dad being John. Her favorite pro, guess who?
Is it Jason Belmonte?
It's John Bowerly.
Oh, well, that's even better. That's even better.
So, and she's really excited about how much her dad has helped. And you know how good John has been in the past as well. Still probably is.
He's a great guy, and I can see why she would pick her father, as it's a difficult relationship when you're not for them, but for a parent to coach a child is very difficult, and to have your child say that is awesome.
And for Greenfield Central, a player we highlight is their anchor bowler, Tandis O'Neill. And no surprise, her favorite pro is her brother, Zach Weidman. So we're going to talk more about the players as much as we can. They're going to bowl 2 Baker games. The total scores from both games combined, that team that has the highest 2-game total will advance on to the next match. There's only 3 girls teams and 4 boys teams, so we're going to find out who wins on the girls side before we find out on the boys. But as you know, a lot of these games are going to come down into that 9th and 10th frame.
They do. It always seems inevitable that it does that, and it looks like these two are pretty tight so far. I mean, there's been some misses, but there's got to be some jitters to get started here.
Well, as we're looking up at the scoreboards, you guys have those on your TV screen too as well. You can follow right along. They'll bowl the entire game on one lane, and then they'll flip-flop lanes and bowl another entire game, and that 2-game total will determine the winner. And looking up on there, for the Spartans, their anchor bowler, Wesley Boyd, opened in the 5th. That's a big shocker there because he bowled so well, Mike, in that singles portion of this state championship.
Well, it's the same pair of lanes that he bowled on this morning, but obviously it's many hours later, but they have been re-oiled, so but there's a lot different pace out there too.
And as you know, we only oil one time. They oil at the beginning of the show, so you're going to see a lot of transition with this number of players participating.
And with that many players, there's going to be different angles that are being played, so that'll play into it as well.
That was Jamison Dykes there for Connorsville, leaving the 2-4-8 here on lane 49. Now we're back over to the girls on Franklin Central. That would be Macy Hadley here. Oh, and she strikes. And that's a huge shot in the 10th frame, Mike, because this game is pretty tight on the girls' side. And an open frame there for Connorsville. 4-7 here for Greenfield Central. Hobart looking at a max score of 163, so tight on the boys' side too as well. And that was, Wesley Boyd. So actually,
they switched the lineup on us, and Wesley Boyd's now bowling second, I believe, or is he?
No, he's bowling anchor.
10th. He's bowling anchor.
So they have their roster number is based on the back of their shirts on their roster number. So,
a little curveball here and there. That's what you like. Keep you on your toes.
But they're bowling in this order right here. So
I gotcha. Okay.
we know the correct order, and it strikes out in the 10th frame for Macy Hadley.
Very important finishing that. Filling a complete 30 pins in the 10th is very, very important.
173 game one for Franklin Township.
And Connorsville ends with a 165. Very close games. And
really, are you surprised by the scoring so far?
A little bit. I thought it might be a little better, but it's hard to get all. You don't get so much practice. So when it's singles, you can get a lot more practice balls in. So when you have this many players trying to practice, you just don't get as many opportunities to throw the ball.
Good spare there for Tandis O'Neill, and no finish. She's going to try to finish with a 160. That is strikes in the fill ball. So,
yeah, both games very close. Now they got a flip-flop lane, so we'll see how much of a difference there is when they make the move, if they're ready to make, be adjusted and ready to go on the next move.
Well, really, and you're looking at the scores in Franklin Township, the girls would be leading overall 4 teams right now. They have the highest game at 173.
And Franklin Central missed 2 single-pin spares.
Well, that's what we talked about, how important, Baker is the true team aspect of bowling, because each player has to perform at a high level in order for you to succeed.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to do is kill that momentum with an open frame.
157 score for Greenfield Central. And again, if you have trying to follow along, we'll do the best we can to let sure of who's bowling and what frame and what all the action is going on as this
Great
fast
start
and
by
furious.
Connorsville. Great start. Beautiful shot.
We're going to go lane side here to Zach Carey. And Zach, what are you seeing out there is the shot that difficult, or are the players just trying to adjust to what they see?
Looks like they're doing a lot of adjusting. As you've been talking about, not getting a lot of shots in practice and only having 2 shots per game. I agree with you. I think we're dealing with some first game jitters, but what I'm seeing now is people starting to settle in, and I think they're going to start improving.
All right, thanks, Zach. Zach sitting lane side with us, and we're going to lean on him quite a bit. He's right down there next to the action, and obviously Zach, a great bowler in his own rights. He knows what's going on with these kids are facing, and he's got a lot of experience too in team bowling as well. So he bowled college as well, and a lot of these kids are going to do the same thing, hopefully move on to college after they graduate from high school.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for the bowlers to get out there and get some name recognition, and watch some coaches out there watching this live stream and can see maybe if they'd like to add them to their teams here, or keep an eye on them until they graduate and get them to a college.
I want to thank everyone for watching here on Savage Bowling TV. We're now into game number 2 of match number 1. 2-game total pin score will advance the winner into the next round. And when we're all done here this evening, we're going to know who's going to be the boys and girls champions of the team portion of this event for 2021. And like Zach said, players are starting to settle down a little bit. And I'm telling you, you only get 2 shots a game. And we might have a switch here. Let's sit at lane side. Zach, we got a change?
Yeah, over here for Franklin Central, the 6th frame, Hannah's going to replace Alyssa.
All right, Hannah Messersmith is going to come in the 6th frame. Thanks, Zach. And already, Mike, we're seeing some adjustments by the coaches.
Yeah, I mean, there's no time. It's a very short time, so if you're going to make a change, you got to be willing to do it as soon as you can, because you know, every frame is going to be so important in these tight matches. You know, if they're able to get a double somewhere along the way right now, that's going to be very, very important.
Yeah, and Caleb Carey just threw a 4-6 split in the fifth, the anchor bowler for Hobart. They're looking at back-to-back opens here. Now you're with Corinne Walker. She picks up the spare there on lane 46 after an open frame. And, a double now, Mike, for Greenfield Central. And they were down 16 pins, and now a double like that can creep you right back into the match.
There. Yeah, you're right there, exactly. And Connorsville staying clean over there, but Hobart comes out with a double, but then back-to-back opens.
And, you know, you see those eight gutters or 8 whiffs. It's so important to try to get every pin you can in a Baker game.
Especially when we saw they're only 13 pins behind or whatever their score. I think it's 13 pins. So, yeah, every pin is going to be very important.
Tandis O'Neill with a solid 9-pin on a double. Wesley Boyd with a spare there in the fifth. They're going to really need to lean on their anchor bowler here in this game at some point. Of course, Connorsville has a 14-pin lead after game one. They're leading 165 to 151, but I'm looking at the score, and it's pretty tight even though Hobart is opened in the fourth and fifth frame.
Yeah, we're down to the end here. There's about 4 frames to go, so it's time to throw some strikes. Great shot by Connorsville.
Remember, Connorsville is leading by 14. 84 in the fifth for Hobart, and I see 96 in the fifth, so 14-pin difference there. So that 14-pin lead is now 28.
Yeah. And Hobart's just opened again, so they're 110 in the seventh, so they're going to need some strikes here and some help.
And with the head pin right on Connorsville there. Now we're looking over at the girls. Comes in through the face for a split.
Well, that ball really looked great, but boy, it just double timed on the back end.
Nice strike there for Hobart. Coach Dan Locke, Scott Bliss, and Jeff Griggs, coaching staff for Hobart, coaching staff for Connorsville, Caleb Jordan and Michael Cheney. We can't talk about the coaches enough because these guys don't get paid. They're volunteering their time.
Yeah, they got a lot of time, and they've got a great opportunity, and they're down in there with the kids and keeping them lined up and calmed down, and they do a great job. And the teams wouldn't be here without them.
And the coaching staffs for Greenfield Central, David Evans and Charlton Cavett. And then for Franklin Central, we have Glenn Brunker and Randy Barnhart. So, again, we want to give the coaches all the props we possibly can because they're volunteering their time here for these kids. And, again, we're getting right down to crunch time here for the boys. But right now it looks like Connorsville is in control. And we have another open frame for Hobart.
Yeah, Hobart's had 4 splits this game and wasn't able to pick up any of them, or 3 splits and a spare miss. So it's been a lot of trouble for Hobart this game.
Max score for Hobart, 136. Basically, any type of a mark here for Connorsville, even in this 8th frame, and this match is over.
Big double by Franklin Central. Greenfield Central comes back with a double. So this girls' game is going down to the end.
All right, we're going to leave it on the girls here as the boys' match has been decided. Connorsville is going to defeat Hobart and advance to the second match. Now all eyes on the girls. We got
what a great break off the wall.
That was Corinne Walker with a strike. 3-bagger here. Greenfield Central on a double. 9th frame. Dreaded 6, 7, 10 split in the worst frame.
And this is one where you need this spare, so you're gonna have to shoot for it. You're gonna have to go for it. Pin count, don't worry about pin count. You just go to try to slide that 6 across into the 7.
Comes in light.
Good break, leaving only 9, leaving the 2-pin.
Should be an easy spare for the girls.
And Connorsville on the boys' side did a great job of filling frames. clean 8 frames in the second game to hold on to the lead.
Well, Lori
Made a
Bowerly.
good try.
Lori Bowerly is going to step up here in the 9th frame for Franklin Central, and they'll be able to. Oh, and it touches it and doesn't fall down.
Oh, my.
That was Hunter Sullivan. And now Tandis O'Neill looking to do some damage here for Greenfield Central, the senior. These could be her final shots, Mike, of her high school career.
Yeah.
How emotional will that be for some of these players, too?
Yeah, very, because it's been a long season for them with a lot of challenges, but, to get this close and not quite continue to win to, get a state championship, I'm sure is very difficult.
And correct me if I'm wrong, and Chad will. Tandis O'Neill made the singles portion of the state finals last year. It was either 2020 or 2019, if I remember correctly. But I do remember her making. Oh no, yeah, you're right. It was Indiana-Kentucky All-Stars. And she's going to pick up the spare. And Franklin Central is going to advance. Stepping up in the 5th or 10th frame for them will be Macy Hadley. And she splits, but it doesn't matter. And now you're looking at the final shot of Tandis O'Neill's high school career, the senior, here at Greenfield Central. High average of 219, high game of 279. And her brother, Zach Weidman, her favorite PBA player. Hook. And she gets an 8 count. And Greenfield Central finishes with 171, but it will not be enough. 328 total. 154 for Hobart. 182 for Connorsville.
Franklin Central 181.
So advancing to match number 2 will be the girls from Franklin Central and the boys from Connorsville. We'll be back with match number 2 here at the Indiana High School Bowling Team Finals here on Savage Bowling TV. All right, welcome back here to the Indiana High School Bowling State Finals team event here in Pro Bowl West, Fort Wayne, Indiana, the location. And Scott Gilmore, Mike Albee in the broadcast booth. Zach Carey, our lane side reporter. We're ready for match number 2, and this is actually the championship match for the girls. Franklin Central will take on the Highland Trojans. And then on the boys' side, Mike, we have Connorsville advancing on to take on Eastside, the number 2 seed. And we're waiting to find out particular orders and lineups. You got the lineup for the boys? Go ahead if you have those.
Well, for Connorsville, we've got Peyton Rowland in the number 1 spot, Dakota Littleton in the number 2 spot, Jamison Dykes in the number 3 spot, Garrett Davidson in the number 4 spot, and Wesley Boyd in the number 5 spot. Also on the team, looks like Logan Jordan and Jordan Abraham are the backups, and we'll see if we see them get in at all. We'll get a word on, and also the coaches. We have Caleb Jordan and Michael Cheney. And so it'll be see if they can get their way into a title match, Connorsville.
We're still waiting on the lineup, I believe, for Eastside. I do not have it up here unless I've misplaced it. Well, we got a lot of papers up here. And then also we're waiting on the Highland High School Girls Trojans lineup too as well. But I know the coach, Al Dabrowski, and he's going to get that to us when he's ready. As you know, sometimes they don't know who they're going to. They might go by practice, right?
That's exactly what they're doing. Yeah, they want to see who's got themselves lined up and ready to go. As we saw last time, there were some quick changes a couple times, once on the Franklin Central side in the girls, but because you just don't know who gets lined up and who's ready to go. They've been sitting for a while, so you want to see.
Well, as you know, as we learned, each player gets 2 shots on each lane. Now, when you have 7 guys on or girls on your roster, each of those players get 2 shots, so practice can vary in time. So, again, players and coaches not sure exactly what order they're going to put it in, and we'll find out the order of the other teams. We do know Franklin Central, they were playing Alyssa Perry at the leadoff, Corinne Walker bowling second, Hunter Sullivan bowling third, Lori Bowerly fourth, and Macy Hadley in the anchor spot. Hannah Messersmith was their sub that came in game number 2 in that 6th frame. She took the place of Alyssa Perry. The coaching staff for Franklin Central, Glenn Brunker and Randy Barnhart. And Zach, what you got?
They've already told me that switch that they made in the first game is going to stick. They're going to stick with that.
So they're going to stick with Hannah Messersmith? All right, thanks, Zach.
And we had a visit from the proprietor here at Pro Bowl West, David Small, doing a great job today, and wonderful host. Always great to be at his centers.
All right, I think the boys are ready, and again, we're hoping to get the roster or lineup for Eastside, as we do not have that yet. I'm sure we'll get that here in a few minutes, I hope.
And Eastside qualified right in front of us all day today, so
yes.
We got to see them a lot. I don't think not one of those players sat down, so they've got to be raring to go again. But they were the most excitable group I think we had in the entire tournament.
Well, the boys are done with their practice. Girls are still waiting, and now we have. All right, what do we got? Go ahead, Mike.
We've got Eastside's roster here, and looks like bowling in the leadoff spot is Austin Wilson. Number 2 bowler is going to be Nick Kaiser. Number 3 is Chase Holbert, and number 4 is Brian Miller, and their anchor is Dominic White.
All right, coach's staff, what do we got?
Coaching is Brandon Depew, Steve White, and Zach Holbert.
All right.
And that is Eastside.
Not West Side, but Eastside.
Yes.
All right. What do we got here? Let's take a quick look at their anchor bowler, Dominic White. Let's see, what do we have on him? He's probably on the backside there of that sheet.
He must be hiding back here. Here's Dominic White. Dominic White, he averages 215, high series of 823, and he has a perfect game. And his favorite Pro Bowler is Sean Rash. Good choice. Good choice by Dominic.
There we go. Now Highland Trojans, we have our order of Ella Klapkowski, bowling second, Scarlett Labuda, bowling fourth, Emily Price. Bowling third is Ariana Wagner. Bowling fourth, Emily Price, and bowling fifth is Carly Zucklin. And we remember Carly. She bowled in the singles portion of our state finals here this morning. So Phil Hyduke and Al Dabrowski.
Boys off to a tough start over here.
And I'm gonna apologize to Al. It's Dobrowolski. I'll get that right here at some point. We'll just call him Al. I've known Al for a long time. And we're underway. We're gonna highlight the anchor bowler, Carly. We're gonna talk a little bit more about her. Carly is a sophomore, high game of 299, and her favorite pro is Julia Bond from the PWBA Tour. And you're right, Mike. We got a good look at Eastside here all day today. They bowled their 12 Baker games right in front of us. And they had some ups and downs, but they had a really good stretch there late that propelled them into the number 2 seed. Really thought they were going to be number 1.
Yeah, and they made the shots in the 10th frame to be number 1. They left a solid 10 that ended up shooting 182 after that 10th frame. But very vocal team, probably the most vocal team that we heard out here today. Very excitable. They're off to an open, but they come back with a strike in the 2nd frame already.
Hey, I want to thank Christopher Adams watching here our live stream. Said it's always good to listen and watch. He thanks Savage Bowling for bringing the action, and good luck to all the bowlers. Chris, we thank you for watching. Happens to be the head coach of Bethel University. Looks like Megan Kennedy's watching too. Not sure if that's the same Megan that won the singles portion of the.
She was quite successful if it's her. Yeah,
if it was.
Did wonderful.
She's got some hardware to take home with her, right? And quickly, here we are. And we have an open right away in the first for Eastside and an open for Connorsville. So, again, Mike, like you're saying, filling frames is going to be so critical in order to win
Especially
this.
that first game, the first couple frames, you want to build some momentum and just start filling some frames with marks. You know, you come with a couple opens, and boy, you're behind it early.
Nice catch. Got to think of a parent out there looking for my best interest. I almost knocked the light over. Stay.
Yeah,
Nice catch.
yeah, that was a great catch.
Oh, my goodness. We
I
got so
know
much stuff back here.
Well, I know who Chad would have blamed for that.
Oh, I know. I'd have been in trouble. Doghouse immediately.
Chad's agreeing with that.
Hey, our friend David Slavin with Big Four Sox is listening and watching to the broadcast, says everything sounds great. We appreciate David. And David coaching there at Muncie at Ball State.
Hello, David. Yeah, I had a chance to talk to him a little bit on Facebook, so thank you for the reach out to me, David. Appreciate it, and good talking to you. Some tough spares being made out there on left. It's really tough getting going here. I mean, they just need to settle back down, make good shots. But remember, the girls are in the title match now, so there is a lot of pressure on that pair of lanes.
A lot at stake for the girls. Guys are in their semifinal round. Winner will advance to take on the #1 seed defending champion, Noblesville Millers.
And that's going to be a tall challenge for whoever gets to that one. All you can do is fill your 8, get 2, save those pins.
Hobart with back-to-back open, or Highland, excuse me, with back-to-back opens in the 3rd and 4th frame. Macy Hadley there in the 5th frame. Their anchor bowler comes in light. Leaves just a soft
big
10.
break.
And
big
that's
break.
on a string, Mike. 3-bagger for Connorsville.
Yeah, Peyton Rowland drops that 2-pin forward for a double. Or, I'm sorry, 3 in a row. Great shot. Those are important. Very important. Take your break and run.
You're about to see the intensity level take a step up, right?
Most definitely. I mean, East Side, they're coming. Great shot by East. That's a double. They've only had one open, so they're getting back in the game. As you can hear them making their cheers back there. But and another crowd or another team that does that is the Noblesville Millers. They get excited and help each other along.
Well, and as you know, East Side was in front of us. They cheered all 12 Baker games.
I don't think any of them ever sat down. Not that I saw. I mean, great effort though.
'84 in the 5th for Franklin Central, and a washout split. 72 in the 5th for Highland. Again, it's 2-game Baker total here to determine the winner of each match, and actually the girls, whoever wins this will be crowned state champion for 2021.
And we're still on 2 games total, right?
Yep. And an open frame there. And that was, I believe, Hannah Messersmith. Zach, what do you see in lane side? It looks like the intensity level picking up quite a bit here as we get into the later stages.
Yeah, it's definitely, they're getting pretty excited down here. I'm surprised they're not yelling right now. They haven't stopped, but I'm sure you'll hear them in just a second. These guys, yep, there it is. You can hear it right here. They're
on cue.
They're excited.
Right on cue, yeah.
Zach's right down there in the action. He's got to be careful. There's some wild high fives going out there. He might be in part of one. We had a 6 count with no fill there in the 6. A huge mistake there for Highland.
Yeah, Franklin Central got a break there. I mean, they had a single pin spare miss, but picked up 3 pins. So anytime that happens, you feel very, very fortunate.
Just a 15-pin match here for the girls in game number 1. Advantage Franklin Central. And now another open by Corinne Walker there in the 7th, 101 in the 7th. On the boys' side, 134 in the 7th frame for Connorsville to a 131, but Eastside opened in the 8th. They have 140 to 154 for Connorsville, so a 14-pin lead here for the Spartans late in game number 1.
And Eastside goes a little high, breaks one down, leaving only in the 4 and 7. These are the spares you got to get. Oh, great shot, Wesley Boyd.
Anchor bowler comes in to leave a solid 10. He didn't leave many 10 pins in his singles matches on his way to the state title.
I don't think I saw it. Well, maybe 1/2 10, but nothing like that. That was a solid 10.
Now, big spare attempt here for Hunter Sullivan for Franklin Central. She's got the
What a great shot.
converts
Perfect.
the 310.
Beautiful shot.
That is a big time spare.
You know, Wesley Boyd, two-hander, great power ball, but boy, he can shoot his spares. Can shoot his spares.
Back-to-back opens now for Eastside. And a big shot here for Wesley. He can give his team a potential 20-plus pin lead, depending upon what Eastside does in the 10th frame here. Oh, he just absolutely stones a 9.
Yeah, great shot. 192. 192 for Connorsville Spartans.
Eastside with the strike. Their anchor bowler, Mike, bowled really well in qualifying.
In this game, he struck in the 5th, and now he's struck in the 10th, so he's doing his job out there, and he just wants to fill 30 here if he can. He's got the first one. He needs something to get this team to build some momentum to go on.
Oh, a light mixer there for Highland and Ariana Wagner. Excuse me, that was their 4th bowler, Emily Price, and now we're going to have the anchor bowler for Highland step up, and Carly Zuklin.
This is a very, very close match with the girls. Oh, goes cross side. 9 and 10 just wants to fit that ball right between the 9 and the 10.
Well, with a spare conversion here of the 9-10, it would be 168 for Eastside. They'd be down 24. 24 pins can be made up in a hurry, and a tough break there for Highland and Carly Zuklin as she splits in the 10th frame.
You know, the angle that everybody seems to be coming in on the head pin, boy, they just don't seem to be breaking much of those splits up.
You know, Mike, let me ask you this question. How important is it, unless, like pace of play, do you want to be out in front of your opponent? Because remember, you can also be a couple of frames ahead, or do you want to just make sure that you're keeping in time with the other team so pressure could be on both players?
I mean, it's tough to make a call, but the best case scenario is being a couple frames ahead and throwing strikes, because you're sending the message and you're running away. But to try to pace yourself with the other team, I think is a bad call, just because you want to do what it takes for you to do well. You know, you don't want to always be caught up in what the other team is doing. You want to set your score and set your pace and let them try to beat it.
All right, 144 for Highland in game number 1. Coaching staff there for Highland, Phil and Al, they're talking with their players, probably talking about strategy. It'll be interesting to see if any lineup changes are made. Zach, what do you got?
All right, for Franklin Township, Alyssa is going to go in for Corinne in this next game.
All right.
152 for Franklin Central.
So Alyssa Perry will be coming back in play for. She will take over the 2 spot for.
Franklin Central shot 152.
All right, they got a 8-pin lead here over Highland. So, boy, that is very close.
Here it is for the state championship for the girls. This game, total two games total. Eastside with a great start. There's our anchor player setting that pace, and they need it to get back in this game because they're down.
167, the first game score for Eastside. They're down 25, and right now, if you're Connorsville, you're wanting to fill frames and force Eastside to double. Keep striking.
Not a better way to do it than start out with a strike. Their leadoff bowler, Peyton Rowland. Well, Eastside misses an opportunity to double right out of the gate, which you'd like to set the tone and start climbing back in.
You know, my experience, Mike, bowling for Purdue and Bakers, we wanted to be out in front of our opponent, especially if we're striking, because they're looking up at you and knowing what they have to do in order to go around you.
Yeah, if you can get out ahead, that's what you want to do. You want to be striking and making them trying to catch up. Connorsville throwing a double. That was Dakota Littleton getting that number 2 shot.
Yeah, Jamison Dykes stepping up here with a chance to start out with the front 3 for Connorsville. Through the face.
Got a good break, breaking it down, leaving only 9.
6-pin spare should be pretty easy. Nice strike there for Eastside, and we got a couple of spare attempts here for the girls. Highland with the really tough one here, the 3-9.
Wow, what a great shot. Beautiful shot.
And that's what you want to do. You want to fill frames in front of you. You're forcing your opponent to spare.
In an 8-pin match, I mean, those single pin or any spare is very, very large. Great spare.
And that was Hannah Messersmith for Franklin Central. And now stepping up will be, coming in reserve, will be Alyssa Perry. She's coming in for Corinne Walker. So it's always tough when you're coming in somewhat cold.
Yeah, it's been a while since she's thrown. So, yeah, it's going to be go out there, and they must have a lot of confidence in her shot making. And here she goes.
That looks left to target, and it misses the head pin left. She leaves what they call the rail, the 1-3-6-10.
That's a tough spare,
And obviously looking now over here at Connorsville, they opened with single pin miss in the 3rd. And now a strike spare 3rd and 4th frame for Eastside. Remember, Eastside, Mike, is down in this match by 25. Yeah. And they're down 9 pins in this game. So they're down 34 overall. They're going to have to start striking here and hope for some help from Connorsville. And if you're Connorsville, you're just wanting to, like you said earlier, fill frames.
Yeah, and they've missed a single pin already. So that's one thing you got to stay away from. You got to fill those frames, especially those easy spares.
Zach, what do you got?
All right, so Corinne is actually going to go back in for Franklin Township.
All right. So some strategy here with lineups here for Franklin Central. Very interesting here in the second game of the championship match.
Yeah, very interesting in the championship match to do that. But you know, coaches have a lot of confidence in their players, and they've bowled with them or been with them all season, so they know what they can do. And Franklin Central has fallen behind now that with that spare miss in the 2nd frame.
Oh, and an open frame here for Wesley Boyd in the 5th frame for Connorsville. And that gives them 81 in the 5th. And a big spare attempt there. So now Eastside cutting into that deficit there. There are 3 pins up on this match, but they're still down 22.
Yeah, you want to start gaining quick because you got 5 frames to go. Oh, just a bad break. That's 6 off the 10 for the Hobart girls.
Right after Franklin Central opens in the 3rd. Franklin Central here, and they're going to lean on Lori Bowerly. I'm sure John, her dad, is watching this shot with some nerves going, and she leaves a rip 7-pin. Great shot.
Beautiful shot.
Now back to the boys match here. And again, a strike in the 6th frame for the Spartans. Forcing the hand. And what a break for Eastside.
Ball broke sharp, but tripped the 4, and boy, the 10 still went. That's great.
Highland coming in line. Oh, what a break for Highland. It looked like the 210 was going to stand, and then out of nowhere, a pin comes out and knocks the 2 over for a strike. What a break.
And Connorsville is now 4-6-7 split in the 7th frame.
Oh, a huge double for Eastside.
Now we're very tight.
Now you got to get 2 pins if you're Connorsville here on this. 2 means 4. Good play. This is where it gets really exciting. Oh, and a weak
Nice
10
shot,
pin
though.
for Highland. Big shot here for Eastside.
Oh.
Crossing over, and oh my goodness. The 1, 2, 6, 8, 10. That is a tough spare. Good cover there by Macy Hadley, the anchor bowler for Franklin Central. And now all eyes on the Spartans. 8th frame. Misses a head pin right. Now you got to wonder, Mike, are nerves coming into play on the boys' side?
Most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, this one had tightened up, but we got a 5 miss there in the 8th, which really hurts Eastside.
On a double, just crippling. That was Chase Holbert for Eastside. Now that puts all the pressure now on Brian Miller, their 4th bowler, here in the 9th frame. And really takes some pressure off Connorsville. Oh, a strike there for Brian.
It's giving them every chance to try to win this one.
They got to strike out. They could strike out for 189, but will it be enough? Big spare there for Connorsville.
Good spare.
And remember, Connorsville has a 25-pin cushion. Oh, and an open frame for Hannah Messersmith. Highland now with a lead here in the state championship match for the girls. Scarlett Labuda with the spare conversion, and she gets it.
Eastside anchor bowler with a big strike for a double.
Corinne Walker with a washout split here in the 7th. And Franklin Central, Mike, on the girls' side, falling apart here a little bit here late in the stages.
It's almost like call a timeout and settle everybody back down. And
I'm telling you right now, if I'm Eastside, I'm not bowling this next shot until their 10th guy might throw his first one.
Here he goes. If he gets this one, though, there's a lot of, if he can get this second one to 10th, there's a lot of heat on Connorsville. There already is, actually.
This would make Wesley Boyd double. Oh,
wow,
what a shot!
Tremendous shot.
There is some moxie there by the anchor bowler for Eastside. Dominic with 2 great shots here. Now, Wesley Boyd said it's not done yet. We're going to stay right here. .167 max score. If you add 25, Mike, that is 192. 189 the max score. Wesley Boyd needs to strike here in the second ball in the 10th. Needs a good count here, Dominic does, but what a comeback. Oh!
More than enough for that. Definitely. Wesley Boyd needing this one to advance for Connorsville.
356 total for Eastside. He needs it. Comes in light. Leaves the 2-5, and that will not be enough as Eastside's going to advance.
What a gutsy performance by Eastside. Now we are back to the championship match.
Now back to the girls. Oh, Franklin. Lori Bowery with the 5-10 split in the 9th in the most critical time.
And she's going to need to slide that over, hit on the left side of the 5 and into the 10.
Here's Ariana Wagner's attempt at the 1-2-5, or excuse me, 1-2-6-9. Oh, and she leaves the 6. They've got 143 in the 9th. An 8-pin lead for Franklin Central.
She's going to give it a shot. Good try. Made a good run at that.
348 total. Eastside comes back to win by 8, and they'll take on Noblesville Millers for the state championship. But now our attention turns to the girls. any type of a mark here, and Highland is your champion. Oh, and she leaves a 9. Carly Zuclin. That's going to be 152.
That's enough.
I believe you're right.
Great shot.
The most they can do
Yeah.
is 151.
They'll lose by 1. Yeah, they could lose by 1.
Oh, Heartbreak City for Franklin Central, as Highland is going to win the girls' state championship. Boy, and you look, Mike, and you go back and you see that 6 whiff on the washout.
Oh,
just
yeah.
a pin here and there. And you're talking about it possibly being down to 2 or 3 pin difference. And
yeah, it's difficult. I mean, it's a tough match. It's the title match. It's the state tournament. There's a lot of pressure on both sides, and you want to fill frames, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. But what a great run for Franklin Central, and what a great tournament win by Highland.
we're going to go lane side here to Zach Carey. And Zach, you're right there next to the East Side boys team, and what a comeback did we see there in the 10th frame by their anchor bowler, Dominic.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Stepped up and really did what he needed to do, and didn't show any fear while he did it.
As a former college bowler yourself, Zach, there's nothing finer than stepping up into the 10th frame when your team needs it and you put 3 straight back into the pit.
Oh, it's amazing. There is nothing better than doing that for your team.
All right, so Highland Trojans, the girls, win the 2021 state team championship. Heartbreak City for the girls of Franklin Central. And now we're going to have the spoils of the pictures and the trophy presentation for the girls, but the boys are not finished yet. So again, Eastside will take on Noblesville in the title match for the boys. We'll have the interview with the coaching staff and the players from Highland right after this timeout. All right, welcome back here to Savage Bowling TV's presentation of the 2021 Indiana High School Bowling State Championships. We're now going to send it lane side with the victorious Highland Trojans. Mike, take it away.
Congratulations, Highland. What an awesome job, Coach. What did it take to get these girls in first place in the state of Indiana?
They had a great positive attitude all day. They had fun. That was the most important thing we were preaching all day. Have fun with the guys. You're here. Might as well have fun with it. Make your spares.
Well, that was a great thoughts, and what a great job coaching today. So how's it feel to be the state champion in your senior year at Highland?
It feels really good. I never expected this to happen, but here we are, and we just won, so it feels amazing.
Well, you had great shots by everybody. Spares were very important. Congratulations on winning the Indiana State Championship for Highland and all your wonderful teammates. Great job, Coach.
Thank you.
And we'll take it back to Scott.
All right, thanks, Mike. And nothing more exciting than winning a state championship here at the high school level. It's the pinnacle of the sport of high school bowling, and what great representatives there. The coaching staff and the players there from Highland, from the Greater Lake County Association. And again, we want to recognize those players: Ella Klepkowski, Scarlett Labuda, Emily Price, Sammy Smolin, Ariana Wagner, and Carly Zuclin. And what a day for Carly. She makes the show on the singles portion, comes up short, but her team comes back here down in 8 pins in game number 1, and they defeat Franklin Central for the 2021 Girls Team State Championships. And Mike, you could just hear the excitement on the players' voice of how exciting it is to win a state championship.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't, and I'm standing right next to the whole team there, and it's just, you can see it in their eyes. I mean, it's just so much fun, and what a reward for a season, especially if you're a senior. You get the opportunity to get to the state championship, but then also to take it home to Highland. So, just a great job by the girls, great job by the coaching staff, and you can tell that they all just pull for each other, and that's what's so great about high school bowling and the camaraderie between the teammates, and we're getting ready to see a team that does that better than anybody I've seen out here, and that's Eastside.
Well, and matter of fact, they came back. We thought they were out of it, and then their anchor bowler comes in and throws 3 in the 10th to defeat Connorsville, 356 to 348. So just an 8-pin win for Eastside, but they were down 25 going into that second game. But now a tough task at hand here for Eastside as they're going to take on the number 1 seed, the Noblesville Millers, and they have a heck of a player in their anchor bowler, Nathan Smith.
Yeah, but I don't think the word's in the dictionary for how tough it's going to be to knock Noblesville off. I mean, this team is solid from top to bottom, and obviously they're defending champions, and that young man named Russell at the bottom there too, I'll tell you what, he doesn't miss. So it's going to be an exciting match, and but Eastside has obviously done a good job of pulling back in when they needed to that's why they're here. But it's going to be a great match for us to see.
Well, and they're going to rely on that sophomore, Caden Russell. And Caden, his favorite pros, obviously his dad is one of them, Ronnie, but he's leaning on that Belmo guy, the two-hander from Australia. But also, I want to give a quick shout-out to Andrew Elliott, a junior here for Noblesville. You know who his favorite player is?
Who's that?
It's E.J. Tackett, but some other guy named Mike Albee.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Sure it's not a misprint.
Yeah, no, it's typed in there.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that.
Hi, guys. Hi, world.
Dave Small here back behind us here in the booth, the proprietor here at Pro Bowl West, and does a phenomenal job hosting these events every year. We do quite a few events over at his other center in Anderson, Championship Lanes. And now we're down to the final game of the 2021 Indiana High School State Championships. This is the team final for the boys.
My Millers. Come on, Millers.
And Noblesville is a co-ed team, so that's something different for us than the co-ed team. But it's going to be a great match. I mean, wow, what power all day. But like I said, we got to watch Eastside Bowl the whole time. But Noblesville was just off to our left, so we got to see these two teams quite a bit today.
Let's send it laneside. Zach, what are you expecting here from both teams? Obviously, Eastside having a couple of games under their belt, but this Noblesville team, their 4th, 5th, 3, 4, 5 bowlers are awful strong.
Yeah, I don't see those guys having any problems, but these lanes are starting to get tricky, as you guys know. But Eastside has the advantage on knowing what the lanes have been doing. So I think they may come out a little bit stronger, but it'll be interesting to see what, again, those 3, 4, 5 guys do for Noblesville.
Well, Lena Tarswell is going to lead off for Noblesville. The roster here, bowling first, Lena Tarswell. Bowling second, Zach Wilson. Third, Noah Tannenbaum. Fourth, Nathan Smith, and fifth, Caden Russell. Also want to recognize substitutes Andrew Elliott and McKinley Brooks. Coaching staff, Tom Tarswell, Jamie Elliott, and Doug Smith for Eastside. Once again, leading off will be Austin Wilson. Bowling second, Nick Kaiser. Third, Chase Holbert. Fourth, Brian Miller, and fifth, Dominic Wake. And like Zach said earlier, Mike, does the advantage go with Eastside a little bit here, having a little bit more time on the championship pair?
I think a little bit, but since it's a 2-game Baker total pins, I think that neutralizes that a little bit because there'll be time to catch back up. But both teams struggling right out of the gate. But hey, once again, we are in a title match, so there's a lot of extra pressure.
A lot of nerves here. Stepping up for Noblesville will be Zach Wilson. And again, if, as you know, those first 3 bowlers are trying to set this game up for their 4th and 5th bowlers on their roster, and both players on Eastside have stepped up in big ways, especially that last match.
Well, there, Eastside's anchor, what a phenomenal finish to get him here.
And you can't forget Brian Miller, their 4th bowler, who set up their anchor bowler as well. But a big strike there for Eastside. And now Noah Tannenbaum will step up for the Millers. Bowling out of the White River Valley Conference. Eastside out of the Northeast Conference. Coming in, missing the head pin right, leaving the 1-2 spare. Crossing over, fortunate just to leave the 3-pin for Eastside there is Chase Holbert.
You can't talk enough, and we've probably talked about it a lot, but that's making your spares. You just can't say it enough how important it is in these title matches.
Zach, you're familiar with the anchor bowler of Noblesville and Caden Russell. He's quite the talent here in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He's also a really good kid, too. He actually, whenever I worked at Pinheads, I recently left, but I hired him right before I left. And you can just tell he's got a lot of passion for everything he does, and he's a good kid.
Well, and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. His dad's awful talented player, too, in this state, and Ronnie Russell. So now your first look here of Nathan Smith. If you watched this morning, you saw him in a singles show. And that's what he did quite a bit,
yes,
even though he came up short against Ryan Spear. And now Brian Miller for Eastside. This guy has thrown a lot of strikes this afternoon. Comes in high. The announcer's jinx right there, leaving the 6-10. And now your first look at the what we would call the super sophomore, Caden Russell. Two-hander here, son of Ronnie Russell, PBA Tour star. And this kid has all the tools.
Not much you can say about that. That's perfect. You know, it's amazing here in Indiana. I mean, if you look back at the success that we've seen, you know, Ronnie Russell on the tour, E.J. Tackett, all the Tacketts, you know. Matt Sanders. I mean, it just goes on and on. And then we've seen so many, last several years, we've seen so many great matches and great players who have went on to do things in our sport. Indiana is in such great shape. I mean, it's just wonderful to see.
Coming in light there is Lena leaving the 2-7 split, one that I, for some reason, can never make. I'm left-handed, but I don't, you know, they say this should be made 90% of the time, and I probably make it 10% of the time.
Well, there's two options. There's two options. You either make it or quit. One or the other, right?
I should quit.
Or don't leave it. Or don't leave it.
Oh, big strike there for Eastside, and that's the anchor player, and he's done a lot of that.
Yeah, Dominic has continued to be strong in his spot.
And, Zach, if you're Eastside and Noblesville, the way the two anchor bowlers are playing for each team, your goal is just to try to set this match up for them to take the win.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, they're going to lean on those guys a lot. And honestly, it's going to end up coming down to who sets the anchor bowler up better.
105 in the sixth for Noblesville. And a double now for Eastside as they take the lead here midway through match number one.
Just a gorgeous shot there. Nice and smooth. Ball did all the work. Perfect.
Now Zach Wilson for Noblesville.
Great shot.
Oh, yeah, great shot. And that's what you want to see, setting the table for the anchor bowlers. Coming in high, fortunate to leave just the 6-10.
Yeah, got to fill it up, though. Got to make that 6-10.
That was Nick Kaiser for Eastside. Oh, great
Beautiful
shot there by Noah Tannenbaum.
Pretty shot. Beautiful.
That evens the match. This match is all even through 7.
Yeah, this is where you're looking at this match. You could definitely see Noblesville Millers take this off the sheet.
Now your fourth bowler stepping up, Nathan Smith, the senior for Noblesville. Comes in light. Oh, and he leaves the 3-7 split. Oh, my goodness. What a critical mistake there for Eastside in the 8th frame as Chase Hulbert almost throws it in the left gutter, taking off just the 7-pin on a spare.
Great.
Huge.
But watch the team here. Look at the team sitting. They're all getting together. They're talking it out, and they're going to settle things down. And
oh, great cover there by Nathan.
beautiful spare. Beautiful spare.
The senior steps up. His favorite pros, Jason Belmonte, Norm Duke. Gotta like that.
Yeah.
Jesper Svensson.
Great choices.
He was the 2018 individual state champion as a freshman. And his other claim to fame, finished third in the 2019 Junior Gold in Detroit.
Wow, that's an awesome finish. With over 2,000 bowlers, I'm sure. At least.
You know, think about that. An Indiana player, Jeff Mann
Yes.
from West Lafayette, wins Junior Gold. Zach, what you got?
Looks like we're going to have a change here in the 8th frame for East Side. Alex is going to go in for Chase.
All right, Alex Rickman will go in for Chase. He will step up to bowl third. And they're probably going to allow him to shoot this spare attempt.
This is a very difficult position to come into.
And he's left-handed. Hey, if you're left-handed, you like to see that 7 pinned out.
Yeah.
Needs to hook. Oh, wait a minute.
backdoor.
Wait a minute. Oh, almost backdoored it.
Yeah.
Leaves the head pin. Open frame in the 8th, 135. Caden Russell comes in light, striking in the first shot in the 10th, but leaving just the 2 pin. They're going to finish with the spare 193. 195 still out there, though. Brian Miller stepping up for Eastside. We're looking at a really, really tight match.
Yeah, these last couple of frames have really changed the complexion.
Oh, not what you want to have there in the 10th. Oh, and Caden misses the spare, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
192.
Just count. I'm sure he'd like to have it, but it's just count.
And now, if you're, I mean, you got to go for it.
Yes. Yeah, you need to shoot this. You need to give it a run.
But no matter what is done here on the spare attempt, the Noblesville Millers will have a lead going into game number 2. We just don't know how big of a lead it will be. Brian Miller stepping up here, trying to convert the 210. 9th frame. Just misses it. Open frame in the 9th.
Oh, Dad comes in, steps in, and wants us to give his son a hard time about missing that 2-pin. But, you know, I'm going to let him off the hook on that one. I think he's thrown a lot of strikes today, and he's still got 2 big frames left in this state run at the title.
Well, and he knows if he's called upon in game number 2.
Yeah.
You could expect his best right here. But a big shot here in the 10th frame for Dominic, the anchor bowler for Eastside. And as you mentioned earlier, favorite bowler, Sean Rash. He'd like to Sean Rash a couple here, and he comes in light and leaves the 2-7.
Yeah, this is a tough fill here, the spare. He's going to need to have that ball break all the way across the lane and have that ball take out both pins. Last couple shots, we've seen him ball kind of wiggle going down the lane, not make the return. You just wonder what that means for the Noblesville Millers, if that they're going to have that same reaction. But
all right, conversion here for Dominic. Oh, and he misses it. Back to back opens for Eastside. Totally derailed the momentum they had going there, Mike. They finished with 153, so a 39-pin lead. And Eastside has forced themselves back into what they did the last match, and they did come out on top. But you got to figure it's going to be a little tougher task here against Noblesville.
yeah, this is the Noblesville Millers, the defending champions, who we've seen, you know, bowl very well. It's going to be a tough one to come back from. But there's 10 frames, and there's time.
All right.
It's okay. Well, and for Noblesville, here's where you just want to fill with spares and strikes. You know, you want to make Eastside have to throw doubles and triples to get back into this one.
All right, we might have some changes here for Eastside. We'll find out here in a minute from our Laneside reporter, Zach Carey.
That's a big spare. That gets them started.
Absolutely.
That gets them
she
started.
Opened twice in the first game, so
yeah, that's a good spare.
she did her job there. Zach, what do you got? You got something?
Yeah, give me just a second. I got to clarify their lineup. They're making some changes. Alex is coming out and Xander's going in, but it looks like they might be switching it around a little bit.
Okay.
Hopefully you guys can catch the numbers.
All right. Thanks, Zach, for the heads up. Zach Wilson
Breaks
there.
it down. That's a big breakdown.
Single pin. Yep. And right now they're just at the point where they just want to fill frames.
Yeah, because every spare forces, East Side to throw strikes.
What a day it has been today. Oh, and an open frame there. Now it looks like,
Making it really difficult now.
yeah, it looks like we have another player coming in, maybe Ashton Whirling, not sure. Oh, and Zach Wilson just absolutely missed the 6-pin. Fresh bowler coming in, hasn't participated at all. Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Not only did he throw a great strike, did you see that excitement, enthusiasm? That's exactly what Eastside needs to try to make a rally here.
Wow. You talk about
Uh-oh.
how hard it is to come in that cold. And Noah Tannenbaum with the 7-pin. And Noah, senior too as well. His favorite pro, Jason Belmonte. So some senior leadership here from Noblesville. And now, right now, Eastside just trying to
Muster a
mentally
challenge. Yeah,
stay
yeah,
in this
yeah.
game, right?
Yeah, muster a rally of some kind here.
Nick Kaiser with the 1-2-4 conversion. And now, stepping up here, the senior, Nathan Smith.
Good spare. Yeah, good
spare. Oh, solid 8-pin. You can tell it's starting to get a little quiet down there on the lane. Zach, you could tell, kind of feel the pressure and the intensity stepping up here, and the players are feeling it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I'm down here, like we said earlier, and I can feel the excitement and the nerves all at the same time from these players.
We're just 6 frames away, Mike, from knowing who's going to win the state championship. We might be sooner than that unless Eastside can mount a huge comeback here and start striking.
That's what it's going to take now because Noblesville doesn't seem to be letting them back in. So there's going to take some strikes to beat this team.
Now, here come the anchor bowlers here in the 5th frame. Caden Russell will step up first here on the left lane for Noblesville. And he didn't like something.
It's a good play. If you're not ready, step back, take a deep breath, think about it, and then start again.
Eastside has cut the deficit by 1 pin only here through 3 frames. So big shots from both players. More so on Eastside for Dominic. But here's Caden Russell first.
Oh. Beautiful shot.
Beautiful shot.
Nice
You're
and
right.
smooth. Great power, accuracy. Great shot.
Solid at the foul line. Now Dominic's got a match. Ooh,
wow.
A lot of power there.
Yeah.
Can't believe
the wind should have knocked the 4 over.
Absolutely.
Wow, what a shot.
Looked good off his hand all the way. Now here is Lena for Noblesville. Lena the junior. Her favorite pro, Shannon O'Keefe.
Strong, very strong player, Shannon O'Keefe.
Got a Walter Ray Williams Jr. sighting here for McKinley Brooks on their team. You know that name all too familiar, don't you?
Yeah, I have played against Walter for many, many years, and himself and Pete Weber announcing their retirement from the national tour, but still going to do the senior tours. So 2 great icons of our sport.
Now, spare for Eastside. Now Lena trying to spare here in the 6th frame. And she's done her job, Mike. She spared both times, marked both times this game. And now it's going to be up to the final 4 players for Noblesville. But before, 6th frame now here for Eastside. Three, 6, 10.
Yeah, it didn't seem to get the right trajectory out of there. The ball just wanted to break a little too sharp.
Again, feel not right here for Zach Wilson for Noblesville. You got to figure nerves are, you're getting into crunch time right now.
Yeah, but each time Eastside's not able to put a strike on the board, it's one step closer for the Noblesville Millers to the state title. Beautiful
Great
shot.
shot
Beautiful
for Zach
shot.
Wilson.
What a great shot, especially after having to step back and reload, and great move.
After,
great move.
and especially, Mike, after he went 9 miss in the second, to come back mentally and throw a good shot and strike, that's huge. And an open frame for Eastside in the 6th. Now the senior, Noah Tannenbaum, stepping up for Noblesville. Sends it way right. It's going to come back. Oof.
Good break getting that 10 out of there.
Boy, he's lucky. Only left the 3, 6, or excuse me, 2, 4, 8.
Oh.
Oh, and a washout split now for Eastside here in the 7th.
Yeah, Eastside needing a lot of help here, plus strikes.
Good cover by Noah. Now Eastside's got to match that spare, but frames are running out for Eastside here in the state championship. Title match. Baker game number 2, and that's going to leave it at 101 in the 7th.
And they only have 191 left for if Eastside's able to strike out.
And right now, if you add the advantage that Noblesville has, which is 39, they have 166 in the 7th, essentially. So any type of mark, and that will do it. And Noblesville, my oh my. Nathan Smith, he's going to have a lot of hardware.
Well, you know, and it's not a stretch to see ourselves sitting in this position next year with that Noblesville Miller team still sitting there for another run at 3 in a row. But they're going to lose some major parts, but Caden Russell can anchor that team for a while.
Well, they got 3 seniors on this team.
But you can't talk enough about the heart of Eastside, the heart and the finishing power that Dominic was able to do in the 10th frame to get him to this title match. But you know, just a great event. They did a great job. They still have the enthusiasm, which is great.
Guys, it looks like Noblesville is going to let some of the bowlers that haven't been bowling go ahead and step in and fill this 10th frame.
It's always great when you get your other teammates involved in a state championship. And we're going to try to, it looks like McKinley Brooks will come in and shoot the spare for Caden. Now Brian Miller for Eastside. And I know the disappointment is going to be huge for Eastside, but man.
What a day. What
a day for Eastside. Runner-up finish. Nothing to hold your head down about.
Not at all. They had heart all day, great finishes, worked hard all day, and it's runner-up in the Indiana State team event, which it's a great thing to put in your pocket that you were able to be the runner-up, and being defeated by the Noblesville Millers is not a disappointment, something you should be ashamed of. Well, what a great team.
The #1 seed will win the title, and Dominic comes in light. And, boy, he just couldn't get on track in this second game on this right lane.
They used a lot of energy to get into this title match. I mean, there was a lot of energy spent against Connorsville, but, you know, just a lot of great players out there in this title match.
He leaves the 2-8-10. I keep talking in righty language. I keep wanting to put that 3-pin out when it's 2. I'm used to leaving the 3-7-9. Oh, but 156, your total there in game number 2 for a 309. Your champions for the 2021 Indiana State title for the team event, is your Noblesville Millers with a 367 series. They defeat Eastside with a 309. We'll come back. Mike Albee will interview the winning team and coaches right after this.
All right, we have the Noblesville Millers, the Indiana State champions for 2021, and also back-to-back. Congratulations, great job. Coach, what did it take to get you guys there today?
A lot of focus and a lot of grit, really, because we started off really slow early on this morning, and then we kind of poured it on. We've said all year, we've got to control the pocket and pick up our spares, and it proves that it really works.
Well, it worked. Great job. And also with us is Nathan Smith. Nathan, you bowled well this morning in the singles as well, but you made some great shots out there. Senior moving on, but leaving a great legacy. How's it feel to be a back-to-back winner of the Indiana State Championship?
Oh, it feels amazing. I know freshman year when I won singles portion, it was after that until I noticed that I was following, Nick Bowman, who, had his legacy when he failed to win his second singles his senior year. So I thought I had a chance to kind of go to that extra level, but I guess it just didn't work out. But I guess I'm on the same level as him because now I got 2 state titles just like he did.
Well, congratulations. Congratulations to the Noblesville Millers. I expect to see you guys here next year. So great job, and go for the three-peat without you. But you'll be doing other things. You'll do well. So congratulations again on the state championship. We're very proud of you guys. Good job. And back to Scott in the booth.
All right, Mike. Thanks a lot. And again, wow, kudos to Nathan Smith there from Noblesville, and kind of nice for him to remember some past players. Nick Bowman was a extremely talented young man for Ben Davis, and Nick won the single state championship as a freshman as well and came up short his senior year. So it's kind of nice to hear Nathan talk about Nick Bowman in the same way that his career has gone on. But Nathan himself, a 2018 single state champion, and now back-to-back teams state titles. So tons of hardware for that young man.
Yeah, and a bright future. So we know he's moving on to the great place to continue his career, but the team is just, they are so solid, and to have a young sophomore in Caden Russell to carry them on into the future. And you're also going to see Caden in the singles, so it's surprising he wasn't there today. But it's just they represent the state so well. And like you said, we've had great stories through the years. Nick Bowman, it's just so much fun to see how much talent there is in the state of Indiana in bowling.
It's been a great day. Exciting drama in the singles portion of this week, and now you have really an exciting finish for both. You have Highland defeating Franklin Central in the 9th and 10th frames to win theirs, and now Noblesville doing something that's extremely difficult, winning back-to-back state championships.
It's very difficult, and it's just so much talent. The heart of Eastside just to fight their way back into the state championship game. There are so many great stories today, and I can't thank you guys, Scott and Chad and Savage Bowling TV for allowing me to be part of this. It's a blast, and I look forward to it all the time. It's great.
A lot of bowling coming up yet this season for Savage Bowling TV. We'll be in Kokomo for the Masters and Queens High School event, and then also we'll be in Kentucky for the Indiana Kentucky All-Stars in June. So a lot of bowling coming up. Mike, thanks for your time. We always enjoy you part of our broadcast.
Thank you.
For Chad Lester, our producer-director, Mike Albee, Scott Gilmore here. Your champions for the team portion of the Indiana High School State Finals are the Noblesville Miller boys and the Highland Trojan girls. For Savage Bowling TV, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you later on down the road here for some more high school bowling.